over the weekend, I've been partaking in the social media blackout to try and tackle online abuse. So if I see any of you chirping up online, I will physically come to your house and spin your jaw, alright? Enough is enough. But this is the Gameweek 35 Players to Watch. This Scooby-Dooby the series where Baker Boy here gets his magnifying glass out as I scout the best ever players to buy this week in FPL. Where we also do be having a double game week this week, hey, so we will definitely be chin-wagging about that. But first, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? And no, I don't mean me. I know I've had a few too many sausage rolls lately, but I'm not that big, right? But the real elephant was that the Man United-Liverpool game was suspended due to protests. Now this right here not only could force another double for these two teams later on, but could also force some other rescheduling in some other games just to fit it in as well. So for now, let's just go with the information that I have right now on what is definitely confirmed right now and provide you with the best players for the doubles this week. Where, as you'll see right next to me right now, the teams on the left are the ones that are doubling this week, but the teams on the right are the ones that are doubling and also play the game week after. So if the team is on the left but not on the right, that means they will in fact blank in the next game week. So the ones on the right might actually tickle your pickle a bit more, you know? But also you might not want to miss out on all of the other ones on the left that will in fact blank. So just a little extra thing to think about for you there. So let's get straight into the players, where I'm going to go team by team suggesting some players from them roll the fixtures. And I'm going to try and go in priority order of what I think you should try and target and one that can get you all of the points this week in my best honest opinion. So the first team to get you all of the points, and it is actually up the toffees with these. Now Everton are one of the teams here that don't blank in the week after, but more importantly in that game week they do play against the worst team in the league in the Sheffield United. But this game week in the double they do play a fiery hot West Ham, right? But also a wibbly wobbly West Ham. They seem to concede in all the goals, right? And then a Villa team who are kind of just plodding along without Grealish, aren't they? But on their day can concede the goals, and on the day can he score. But then again, they did just beat Everton like not even a couple of days ago, and now they're playing each other again. Whoa. So an Everton team actually pushing towards a Europa League spot with options like a DCL, a Digne, and maybe even a Sigurdsson in there could well be quite sexy differentials in there for you. But you know, if they do manage to keep these games tight and, you know, do get a couple of wins here, they could actually get all of the points for you. But then they also could very easily lose them all and you get nothing. So I like it. But with that Sheffield United fixture just after the double and the Wolves after that as well, I think a Digne in here could be the best option, or just any defensive option for Everton. But I feel like Digne is probably the only one that is nailed, and he's also been taking the set pieces if James is injured, and he's currently injured. Wahey. I'm not saying Wahey celebrating him injured, I'm just saying Wahey for Digne, okay? Yeah. So Everton are up here and up first, mainly because they just play Sheffield United in the game week after the double, but also still not really a must-have for this week. More of a differential. If it goes right, it will go right for you. But the next team to maybe jump on it like a trampoline, and it is actually Roy Hodgie's boys, as it's Crystal Palace with these, where if it goes right, you will feel like a king in the Palace, right? But if it goes wrong, it will be a cry still Palace for you. But they do play Sheffield United and Southampton in this double, but also don't blank after, so potentially one of the best doubles here, and also don't blank. Ooh. But after this double, their fixtures are pretty whack, so it effectively is a blank for them for the rest of the season. But the reason they're kind of up here, and, you know, second on my list too, is because they can sometimes be as solid as a rock at the back, you know, and keep a few clean sheets. Maybe you can get a few goals as well. But then also, sometimes they're as solid as a pebble, and literally don't put up any fight. So if they're on their game, they could well get a clean sheet, maybe even 2 clean sheets in this double, as Sheffield United are the worst attacking team in the league right now, and also a daddy English Southampton might struggle to score some goals as well. So the main players I've chucked in here is a Jolie Ward. That's right, a Joel Ward. Imagine suggesting Joel Ward from Palace. What has this season come to? As he is the cheapest nailed on defender, but maybe even a Mitchell could play both the games, and then he's the cheapest one. But I don't think he's quite nailed. Or maybe a Van Arnold if he plays both. But again, he's not quite nailed. I would probably avoid those. But we also do have a Zaha and a Benteke in here if they think they can score all the goals. Because, you know, a Sheffield United and a Southampton on the day do concede all of the goals. But again, I feel like you won't be missing out too much, because even though the doubles look good, it is poor Palace. They are proper beached, and sometimes they don't look like playing, so not really a priority to get them in. But the next team to maybe be on it like Sonic, and it is the Barking Foxes, Leicester, with these, where we've got the king, Iheanacho, oh what a boy, a Castagna, and also the party pooper man, Jamie Vardy. He's no longer the party man Vardy, he's literally party pooper. Why can he score? Now Leicester are a team that double this week, but then they also do blank, but they also have 2 bad fixtures after the blank in Chelsea and Spursy as well, so probably not worth keeping after the double. So having like a triple up on Leicester right now is probably quite a bad situation to be in, because not only do they double this week, but they do also play in the FA Cup final in that blank, so you never know, some of their players could be rested in one or two of these games here. But the main reason I've chucked them up here is because the Sir, the King, Iheanacho, is just so incredibly good right now. Like, what has happened to him? Someone get the fire extinguisher out, because he's just on absolute fire right now. As he has got 9 goals and 2 assists in his last 8 league games, only blanking once in that time. And that was against Man City. So, absolute madness, isn't it? So with this double being against Newcastle and Man United, it's pretty much just the Newcastle fixture you got here, and the Man United is something to add on top, you know. Just a bit of bonus, maybe a little cherry on top to just sprinkle on to maybe get some extra points. But if you have got a Vardy, a Castagna, a Maddison, you know, they're good to keep for this week. But I think it should definitely be a priority to get them out. And if you have a triple up, maybe even get one of them out this week. Like, I'm not even kidding. But Iheanacho is just too good not to have in your team right now. And I still don't think it's too late to get him in, because even in bad fixtures, I think he's worth holding. And he's still quite cheap. So get him in for this week. Captain Iheanacho, why not? But the next team, and another team to have a double. Whoa, did you know some teams have a double this week? Have I mentioned it yet? I don't know. And it is the protesting boys, Man United, with these. Now, at the time of recording, the very fine time of, I don't care. They are a team that double this week, but also blank in the next week. But with this whole protesting thing going on, there is a possibility that the Liverpool game could get moved into the blank, but then there is also a possibility that more Man United games could get cancelled, you know, if the protests still keep happening. So for now, I'm just going to go with what is confirmed, and if anything changes, then just unlucky to me, because, you know, this is irrelevant. But I'll just go for what I have now. Where right now, in the double, they will play against a Leicester and a Villa, which is not the easiest of doubles, right? With Leicester being quite a tough cookie in there, and Villa, on their day, can do something. But with Man United seeming to turn on their goal-scoring mojo on right now, a forward could very well be worth it here, even if they blank. And if they don't blank, if the Liverpool game goes there, then that will be very nice. Well, obviously, we do have a Bruno in here, the highest point scorer player out of anyone in the game so far. But lately, we've got the differential Greenwood coming into and scoring all the goals. So him, or maybe a reliable Shaw, could also be one particularly a pickle and one that you might want to get in. Am I talking words today, or am I just... there you go. Baker boy, are you sure that Shaw will play? I'm not sure. Are you sure? We'll find out. But again, this is probably a case of, if you have a Bruno, if you have a Greenwood, yeah, it's good to have them, but you're probably not rushing to get them in unless you have no Man United players. But you probably have at least one, right? So, you know, so it's pretty much just a chill night, no need to panic. But the next team to chinwag about, and it is actually the best defence we've ever seen in the league. No, I'm not actually joking. If they keep this up next year, whoa. As it is the mighty Blues at Chelsea, with these. Now these are a bit of a funky one, you know, where the Tuchel Tombola is actually crazy right now, isn't it? With them having a double this week, and then them also playing in the FA Cup final in the blank, so they blank and they also have another game. And they could potentially also be in the Champions League final as well. So, you know, you could say it's quite damn hard to predict who is actually going to play for them right now. So what I've done here is I've slapped a Mendy in here in goals, as he's potentially one of the only ones to play every game for the rest of the season for Chelsea. Our scenes when Kepa just takes over the rest of the season. But then I've also gone for a Mount and a Havertz in here, as their attack might actually be the ones that we attack here with these fixtures. We're in the double, they play against Man City and Arsenal. Not the easiest, right? Then they blank, not very pleasant. But then they also have Leicester and Villa after, so again, not the easiest. So not only have we got all the rotation with them, but we've also not got the easiest of fixtures as well. So even if you manage to get a player that will actually play, points are not guaranteed anyway. So what I would say is one defender is definitely plenty enough, because I feel like even if you have triple defence, there's a possibility that none of them play. But also with their fixtures not the easiest, you probably don't need to get in another one. Even if you don't have any Chelsea, you could probably do without in this double, as you just don't know who is gonna play. Like, I have Alonso, I'm very much expecting him not to play any game for the rest of the season, never mind in the double, behave. But next, a team that could be a hero. But it is actually the villains. It is Aston Villa. Now, Villa are also another team doubling. Whoa, what a surprise, right? Oh, all of these teams doubling. Yeah. But again, they don't have the easiest of fixtures here. But they do also play the game week after with a Palace game in there, which, you know, could actually give you more points than the double combined. So, there you go. But the only reason I would say to get a Villa defender in is pretty much just to cover the high ownership, you know, as Martinez is still selected by 40% of teams. He is definitely the most popular keeper out of anyone by quite a while. But also their defence added up is kind of up there as well. But I guess Watkins has definitely been in good enough form to get a shout out from me here. As outside of Iheanacho, he is actually one of the most informed strikers in the entire league right now. And I feel like it's gone completely under the radar, right? But again, if you don't have him, if you don't have any Villa, you're not really missing out on much, are you? But if you've already got them in, then you're just chilling, you know, chillaxing. But the next team to go for here is the south of the Anthem, Southampton, where they are actually a team with the best run of fixtures after the double year, but then again, potentially not the best of doubles as well, where they play against Palace and Liverpool. Yeah, Palace good, Liverpool maybe not. Where there is an opportunity to get points there, you know, especially with Fulham, Leeds and West Ham after the double as well. So, you know, ones you could stick on for a long while. But I feel like here, it's the right place, but just the wrong team right now. And Southampton have not been very good as of late for a good few months now, have they? And also their main striker in the Daddyings might actually be out for a couple of weeks. And they seem to be rotating all of their players right now, especially their main attackers, so it's just quite hard to see who you can jump on. But then maybe you've got a Kyle Walker-Peters, which I feel like is probably one of the most nailed-on players in their team, who could keep a clean sheet here. We have a Wardy-Prowse, a penalty merchant himself, who could get a golazo, or maybe even a Che Adams could, get you the standard 2 points in your team. Yeah, there you go. But again, with these, not really missing out if you don't have them in. But the final team to double this week, it is Arsenal with, these. Yeah, that is it. The only Arsenal player I will ever suggest, probably for the rest of the season, is Gunnosaurus Rex himself. As not only do they play West Brom in the double, which sounds like a good fixture, right? They'll probably lose that, but they also play Chelsea, and then they also blank after that. And they still just really aren't good enough to be getting in, are they? Now, Aubameyang did score a goal and an assist in his last game, didn't he? But are you really going to drop a Bruno, a Salah, a Kane for an Aubameyang? No. So Gunnosaurus is the only essential player from Arsenal there. And you know what? The only essential player to get in this week. You get it here first. But that is it for the Game Week 35 players to watch, players to buy for the double game week. So as you can tell, lads, this double game week is just not really it, is it? No, not really. As even though the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Leicester and all of those double, most of them also blank after that. But also you probably have players from most of these teams anyway, and you probably don't want to get another one in, but only one is probably just good enough as well, so you're just fine. So it is actually probably a smarter idea to make sure your team is ready for next week in the blank game week, because if you have a team full of blankers, then that will just be a bit of a, I like A to you, wouldn't it? But yeah, you could say maybe like a Sigurdsson, maybe a Greenwood, maybe even a Digne. Could well do quite well this week, and you know, would be like, oh, why didn't you suggest him? It's just because it's quite hard to predict with not the easiest of fixtures for anyone. And to be honest, I think the best thing you could do is just chuck in one of them as a differential and just opt for the best, really. It's quite hard to say, but if it goes right, it could go very right for you, hey. But that is all for today. So hopefully I've helped convince you of a transfer. Or not, because the double's not actually that good. But you know, but at least we chinwagged about it and you know what's going on. But thank you all for watching, and remember...
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.